Off, Five Nights at Freddy's, Fungi, Long Wars, Space Funeral. What other games can I talk about? Oh, maybe Lisa the Painful Play Cover Your Eyes. What the heck? Hello, it's me again. Today, once more to talk about an interesting game I found on the internet. Or in this case, more like a game that found me. Yes, that's right. This video that you are watching right now has a pretty interesting and cool story behind. While I was casually scrolling down Reddit, I noticed that there was a new message on my DM, which isn't something that happens very commonly. I open it, and it's a message from someone named Starskip. I read it, and I was completely blown away by what it said. This guy, Starskip, or Gregory, simply sent me a Steam key for his game Cover Your Eyes for free, telling me, hey, I watched a couple videos you made, and if you want to, check out my game and maybe make a video on it. The fact that someone actually watched a video of mine and decided to give me a game they worked on for free, only asking me to make a video on it, is just insane for me. I'm really happy for this. But now, after having some problems with the Steam version of this game because Valve sucks, I opened the game, and my friends, I really wasn't expecting what I was about to present. So, let me explain what the game Cover Your Eyes is all about. This game's page on Steam looks like this, nothing very different, just a banner and some info on the game. But as soon as we open it, this is what the menu looks like. There's a family right here, and as expected, these are the main characters. In this game, you control Chloe, a woman that lives a perfectly normal life with her family, more specifically, her two children, Jake and Sally, and her husband, Charlie. But obviously, that's not what the game is all about. Chloe gets fired from her job, and after what seemed to be a common day in her life, at least to an extent since she got fired, she takes her son from school to home and play a little. But what she wasn't expecting was that when she got Charlie's phone, her husband, she sees that he was chatting with a girl, and they were planning to meet on a motel. Yeah, her husband was cheating. Even though she knew exactly what was happening, she pretended not to know. But in the middle of the night, when she notices Charlie leaving to meet the other woman, she gets really angry, and in a moment of rage, grabs a gun and goes to chase him. But when she gets out of the house, Charlie is already gone, and she gets distracted by a very weird sound she hears coming from a neighbor's house. It's a scream. She goes there and sees a very weird scene. There's blood and signs of a fight, and a message left behind by someone. It says that the wife of whoever wrote that seems to be about to have a baby, but for some reason, he can't see the baby. He asks for help, but it's just that, no more info. She continues to investigate the house and enters a bedroom. It doesn't seem to have anything special, but when Chloe is about to leave, this happens. Yeah, Chloe gets attacked by what seems to be a monster? A demon? She's not sure. That thing looked like a woman and had a very big hole in her belly. After encountering that thing, we encounter another creature that seems to be a very distorted and grotesque baby. So, seeing all the info we have, it's not very difficult to conclude that somehow that woman from the message that guy left behind had a baby, but for some reason, they turned into that two things. Chloe quickly runs to get her children to be safe while an alarms activate in the whole city. The city is being evacuated. Chloe now will find multiple bizarre creatures, monsters, whatever the hell that things are, and will have to protect Jake and Sally while keeping herself alive. Now that you partially know what the game's about, let's talk a little bit about its gameplay that is very interesting. This game was made in RPG Maker, that for those who don't know, was used to make games like Off, Lisa, Yumeniki, and etc. Basically, RPGs as the name implies lol. If you don't know these games, check my video on Off that will be popping out somewhere at this screen right now. But anyways, I'll give you a very brief explanation on how they work. They're pretty much basic RPGs, since as I said, that's obviously what RPG Maker is made for. So turn-based combat, interactions, and a kinda linear story. Adding new mechanics outside from RPG standard ones, and this game managed not only to work with the base things that are present on this engine, but to add a lot of new survival horror elements and work really well. Here we have a health bar and a stamina bar. It's pretty obvious on how these two work, so I won't comment on them low. But the interesting part is how the combat works. You get your weapon, that can be guns, knives, etc. And with the right button of the mouse, you aim at your enemy. And when everything is right, you attack him with the other one. This breaks a lot of the expectations for an RPG Maker game, and shows that despite all these stereotypes involving RPG Maker games, you can actually make something special and different using this software. These mechanics create dynamic and a bit difficult situations throughout the game. This guy literally managed to make a survival horror or an RPG Maker. But of course, there's not only combat here, there are a lot of puzzles. The puzzles aren't really that interesting, they are pretty basic, not bad in any way, they are good but not different from anything that you would expect. I do think sometimes the puzzles feel a little repetitive and the game lacks a bit on giving the player a direction to follow, but despite some stuff, it's really good. But now, another very interesting part of this game is definitively its art and sound. Despite the art not being technically perfect, the environments and overall aesthetic of the game is very good. All the places you enter are very detailed, and I rarely see tiles being repeated to the point that I think, hey, I already saw these ones a couple times. There is a lot of variation. Even though I think putting some interactions with objects, nothing too complex, just simple descriptions like other RPG Maker games, would make the environment even more rich. The designs of the monsters you see in the game are also very interesting. Sometimes they're just distorted and weird humans, and sometimes they are their fucking baby things that make me fucking shit my pants. There are some monsters that are very cool and have some pretty different designs, but for me, what makes this game actually scary is the way the ambience is built, with the story, but mainly with the music that plays in the background. Talking about the soundtrack, something that is really crazy is that the creator of Lisa the Painful, Dingaling, made the soundtrack for this game. Yeah, that's right. According to Gregory, the creator of Cover Your Eyes, when Dingaling made Lisa the First before he got popular, Gregory contacted him to do the soundtrack. He paid him by donating to the Kickstarter of Lisa the Painful, and Dingaling made a very experimental and completely out-of-the-box OST. Cover Your Eyes soundtrack is a mix between completely noisy and eerie electronic screeches and ambient sounds and complete electronic craziness, yeah! Both the art and the music on this game have a very cool and distinct style. I never really saw anything close. But now, enough of this nerd talk. Let's talk about this game's story. Now, for me, this is the best part of the game. This game's way of presenting the characters and developing them is very personal. The main characters feel like real people, and Chloe's background is developed in a really good way. The dramas inside their family, with Charlie being a fucking asshole, is also used to develop everyone here, and it works very well. Something that I miss a lot on entertainment pieces in general, not only games, is the time to develop the main characters before introducing the main conflict. Like, first you need to set up the world, the people on it, present us to them before making the crazy shit you have to deal with happen. And showing what seems to be a normal day of their life in the beginning of the game really makes a difference on the way you see these guys. The children are mostly used as comic reliefs, but a lot of the times it's shown the relationship between Chloe and them, and it's all very well made. There's a whole section of this game dedicated to talk about the emoji killer, and even though this name sounds a bit goofy, this character manages to create some of the most badass moments of the game, where Chloe meets a distorted version of the emoji killer that she had previously killed a lot of years ago, and this dialogue happens. "How are you alive?" Chloe says. "I'll answer with one question. Do I look alive?" he answers. And talking about some cool moments, another one that I'd like to highlight here is this one where he finds this thing. A giant mouth and eye. The story of this thing is that for some reason during the whole sudden transformation of the whole city, this building basically became alive, and we have to, well, kinda be swallowed by him to proceed. This whole part is really grotesque and weird, but in a good way. This whole game is just really creepy. The story is very well written, and despite having a few problems, since nothing is perfect, it's awesome, and definitively worth giving a try. So yeah, this is pretty much what I have to talk about this game. If you think you enjoy playing it, consider giving a check and downloading Cover Your Eyes. It's pretty cheap right now on Steam, at least by the time I'm recording this, and the game is very entertaining. I'm sure you enjoy it. And also, if you like this video, please check out the other ones I posted, give this one a like, a comment, and maybe even subscribe. Would mean a lot to me. Now, please, don't just ignore this as a generic YouTuber warning. I'm a beginner channel, and you doing that will help me a lot. So now, goodbye.